years ago when I first had a child, my son Tiger. And when he came, I knew that I had to do something different and something better than what was around me and what I got. So because I was a dolphin and whale researcher, I came up with the idea about how to live on pod. Basically, if humans lived like dolphins and whales, what would that look like? And how would our life be? And so for like 20 years now at least, I've been exploring this journey. So I wrote this piece here for the Earth Day in Los Angeles in 2002 and gave it out to thousands of students because while we were in Los Angeles getting ready for this, I realized there was a lot of talk about gangs and how kids wanted to be part of gangs. But really what I saw was that they just wanted to belong and to be part of something that stood up for them, that was there for them, that they could feel part of, and also, I think for kids in gangs, feel protected. So the way dolphins work is they help each other all the time. Just the way you be there in case that wave comes and takes our breath away. You know, a dolphin will come to its buddy's rescue and help support it, help keep it above the water so that it'll keep breathing. Because dolphins are conscious breathers. That means every time they take a breath, they have to think about it. Wow, every single time, think. Thank goodness they only take breaths every few minutes, but still, that's a lot of thinking. So for people, we're about like conscious thinking. That's why I work with a technology called language sculpting. And that helps us to be conscious thinkers, paying attention and mindful of what we're saying. And as we say, helping to create like more coherent realities through the consciousness. Developed into the idea of having pod homes, which is where we hang out, where we play with each other, where we have all kinds of fun and interesting people coming to visit and interact, much like we've seen today at our breakout pod home party here with Lindy, my dolphin daughter, just my pod daughter. She's as close to me as if she was my daughter. And that's partly what the pod project is about, is to help us remember how close we truly are to each other. And we have all kinds of things to develop together, all kinds of projects that we can work on, creativity that's born anew because we're in the pod together and we're doing something with each other. This was inspired, of course, by the whales and the dolphins. And so we call this like a community outreach project of the Cetacean Commonwealth. Because since they inspired it, and so much of what we do, it's a community outreach project. It takes them working through us to bring things together like this. And this is how we intend to create more harmony in the planet, by having more harmonious people, by living a life that's more inherently satisfying, certainly better for the children. That's always a priority, is what's the best we can do for our children. And since we've learned kids that are coming will have every opportunity possible to be fully and truly who they are intentionally with our health. So then I wrote up, inspired by my time here with Lindy, Pod Project, Pod Homes, and Pod People. So who are we, and what does it mean to be part of the Pod Project? What are the Pod Homes? And we call them islands of stability, meaning that...
So what is Pod Project, what are Pod Homes, and how they are related to dolphins?
The Pod Project is something that I've been developing for a long time. It involves bringing people together in groups like pods, just like the dolphins and the whales. It's centered around the pod home, which is where usually a mom and or a dad with their children live, and where we gather interesting and fun people and experiences around them. So partly it takes a whole pod to raise a whole child. That's what Star Newland says. Because we find that when one person in a community gives their attention and love to a child, that is enough input for that child to make a huge difference for the betterment of that child's life. So my question is, well, what happens when lots of people give lots of love to each of our children? How amazing would that be? So the Pod Project seeks to do that by reminding us that we're all connected, that there's a way for us to fit in with each other, that there are fun things that we can do once we get close enough to see what happens when we hang out together. So here at our pod home in Captain Cook in Hawaii with Lindy, we have a wonderful assortment of people today, but we have a wonderful assortment kind of every day. But today it's especially wonderful for this program for Thalassa. And we're bringing in new contacts. We're helping people to find each other. Like our friend Mike Hagan on Orbit Radio says, find the others. Well, the Pod Project is a way of helping us find the others by making it possible to identify that, oh yeah, we want to live like that. We want to live, around our children, with our children. We want more meaningful lives. We want to spend time transmitting our culture to our children and each other, which is considerably more grounded and more and deeper than sending our children to school and educating them when friends back home. And see what happens when we involve the children in a life and play first curriculum. Because children learn best through play. So we help them.
You've yourself had a wonderful story about the encounters with dolphins. Can you tell us a bit more about that? What's your story?
About dolphin encounters?
Yeah, and your story.
Well, yes, I can. I first met the dolphins close up, let's say, back in St. Augustine, Florida. And it was quite a remarkable experience because even though I was having a fabulous time and a great holiday, my encounter with the dolphins took the cake. It was the best thing ever. And what made it best was that they played catch with me out of their pen. After they do their show, they're put back in their enclosures. And my husband and I went walking around, and there were these dolphins playing catch with each other, which was pretty exciting in and of itself. But when they started to play catch with me, I was like, oh my goodness, wow, this is like amazing. I'd yet to ever encounter anything like that. I had very little knowledge or information about dolphins. I only ever saw dogs catch a frisbee. Yeah, so when they played catch with me, it completely something happened inside. I felt that I had been reached. Somehow, some connection took place. Now I know it's heart to heart. I thought it was telepathy, but it's really heart to heart.